Welcome to another Smart Money Concepts video. According to TD Securities, the US is headed towards an economic slump next year, and the chances of it happening are over 50%. Well, right now, I think you've already seen how steep the gas prices currently are, and you've probably gone to Walmart to buy lots of things but ended up with just a few, mainly because of the higher prices imposed on basic commodities. But did you know that it's quite hard to guess when the recession will actually happen? Listen, there's a chance that the US will face a technical recession, which means it has suffered negative economic growth for 2 succeeding quarters. Right now, you might be feeling anxious as how this could affect you and your finances. And honestly, it's of utmost importance to make sound financial decisions at this moment and for at least the immediate future. Well, our channel is here to help you mitigate the perils that come with an economic downturn. So I'll share with you some of the worst mistakes that you can make during a recession. But before we start, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more Smart Money Concepts videos. Well, to be fair, if the US withstands everything that's happening right now, high inflation rates, increasing job unemployment, and high gas prices, then there's a chance that the country could spare itself from a recession. But here are some of the things that you shouldn't do during an economic slump. Number 1, not saving enough money. I can't stress this one enough. You need to save at least 3 to 6 months worth of expenses for you to live comfortably at uncertain times. But remember, it's somehow not enough if you ever lose your job. Honestly, you shouldn't stop saving once you set aside your emergency fund. Remember, every extra dollar you save will help you in case things go awry. You should ensure that your saved money is enough not just to cover your expenses such as rent and bills, but it should also be sufficient to pay for all of your other essentials, enough that you won't need to take on extra debt or loans. Here's a tip for you. Always think of the possible worst-case scenario so you can prepare better. For example, if you consider that there might be a chance that you'd be laid off from your job, think about the length of time it would take for you to be employed again. Consider your field. Is it competitive? Are other companies on your turf on the brink of doing layoffs too? How long will it take for you to secure an interview? These are important questions to think about. Believe me, it will surely help you live securely even when you're facing an economic recession. Number 2, freezing your investments. Don't stop investing just because the market is crashing. Why? Because a recession often provides an opportunity to invest at much lower prices. But you have to take note that it's best to invest only if you're financially stable. Aside from having enough emergency savings in your account, you should also be disciplined enough to only check your portfolio standing every now and then. Inspecting your investment accounts frequently isn't advisable to do because during a recession, things may not go your way and you might make irrational financial decisions because of that. Actually, some companies tend to perform better during economic slumps, mainly because of the nature of their business. To give you a glimpse, here are some of the things you should invest in during an economic recession. Consumer necessities. No matter what the market is, whether it's up or down, people won't stop buying these items because they are needs. So yes, these items are what we usually buy at grocery stores. Basic necessities, food, household products, beverages, and even personal products. Healthcare industry. More in demand than ever. This is one of the industries that tends to do well during recessions. People need to live, they need to breathe and exist, so they need to buy items and secure services that will help them live comfortably. Examples of those in this industry are pharmaceutical companies and biotech firms. Logistics companies. To maintain the continuous supply in the market, items need to be moved from one place to another. Consequently, freight companies are considered a good choice to invest in during recessions. In addition, right now, online consumerism is at its highest, so these freight companies tend to perform okay even during market crashes. Some other industries you can consider are the repair sector, since people tend to maintain and repair their items rather than purchase new ones during recessions, as well as the restaurant industry, especially those that offer cheap eats and options. To maximize the power of investing during recessions, you have to find the best strategy for you and your finances. And remember, you always have to think long-term. Don't be sad when things don't go your way because there's a big tendency that your portfolio will bounce back once the time is right. What are the things that you should avoid doing during a recession? Find out in our videos. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever Smart Money Concepts posts a new video. Number 3, freaking out and panicking. Listen, the ups and downs of a market are normal. That's why you should always be calm and collected at all times. As I've said earlier, panicked people tend to make irrational decisions which sometimes lead to even bigger problems. You might make larger mistakes out of panic. The key to avoiding this is to stop looking at or reading news and updates that make you anxious and uneasy. Put that newspaper down and close the Google tab. Stop trying to predict everything because the market is highly volatile and you'll just make yourself apprehensive. Look, there's an investment strategy which you can try in order to mitigate the risks that come with investing: the dollar cost averaging approach. Here, you can invest smaller amounts of money regularly instead of putting it all in one go. Basically, you'll be able to buy shares of stocks when the market is doing good and when it isn't. But if you know that you've planned everything ahead, if you've somehow recession-proofed your life, then do not fret because things will surely work out for the better. Number 4. Borrowing just to invest. Yes, I know you shouldn't halt your investments because of a recession, but that doesn't mean that you should take on new debts just to invest. That's just a big no. Although stocks are cheap, don't push yourself to buy them if you don't have the means to do so. Think about it. If you take out high-interest personal loans thinking that you can double or triple your money, chances are you probably won't. Not at this time, because technically, the money you borrowed isn't yours to begin with. There's a bigger chance that if your investments don't make it, then your finances will dip and you will drown in debt. And that's just not a good situation to be in during a recession. Experts also say that you shouldn't spend all of your cash to repay all of your debts. You can just pay the minimum amount first. Why? Because you need to have cash on hand just in case you lose your job or your primary source of income. Number 5. Investing without doing research. You should always do prior research before putting your hard-earned money out. Remember, just because everyone's doing it doesn't mean you should too. For example, you've heard about cryptocurrency from a friend and want to invest in it just because you think it's popular. Yes, of course, you can put your money into it, but you have to really know the nitty-gritty of it. All the possible advantages and disadvantages, the do's and don'ts. You have to know how it works and how your money moves within it before traversing this path. And this is the same as with all other types of investments. As Warren Buffett said, risk comes from not knowing what you are doing. You have to remember that. Want to know more tips to face the incoming recession securely? Find out in our videos. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to get notified whenever Smart Money Concepts posts a new video. Number 6. Putting in additional expenses. At this point, you should have identified your fixed monthly expenses from your optional ones. From there, you'll know the amount of money that you will need to allot in order to pay them on time. Fixed expenditures are your rent, mortgage, monthly groceries, household bills, and car loan payments. Basically, they're the things you need to settle monthly in order to continue using or consuming them. Optional expenses are lunches out, movie dates, hotel stays, and vacations. These are things you can live without and things you can afford not to splurge on during times of market crashes. So if you've already decided to cut off some of your optional expenses, then good for you. You really are doing a great job. Listen, not adding additional expenses is just as important as cutting off your current ones. You have to keep your fixed costs small, especially during a recession. Don't take on new expenditures to pay monthly, such as entertainment and cable subscriptions, higher car loans, and new credit card bills. Chances are these will become inconveniences once the economic slump shakes your financial stability. Know your priorities first. It's best to take on new expenses and buy new things, like a new gadget or a new vehicle, when the market has settled. Number 7. Touching your retirement accounts. You should never stop contributing to your retirement plans. If you want to continue on your wealth-building journey, then you have to remember to always allocate funds for your retirement accounts. Of course, you can borrow money from your account, especially when you're in the middle of an emergency, like for example, certain health problems, but you should pay it back as soon as you have the money. However, doing this should be your very last option. Always save your money so you can address such situations. To be honest, all recessions differ from one another, and the things that used to be effective might not be applicable now. However, what I've shared with you are just some of the mistakes that you can avoid making in order to lessen the effects of a recession on your life. Do you have other recession-proof reminders to share with us? Let's help each other. Comment it down below. For more videos, just click the like and subscribe buttons now to make sure that you don't miss our next video.